The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information about this story or any other stories that you would like for us to cover, please email us at info@smithmediateamllc.com.
A Mother's Fight for Justice.
Previously, on The Last Clue, we followed the life of Joe Powell, a rising star athlete, soldier, and student. We traced the night of March 2nd, 2025, the altercation in a gravel parking lot, the 43 minutes of silence before help arrived, and the decision by prosecutors not to file charges. Now, in part two, we turn to Joe's mother, Amanda Powell, and hear her voice in full. Behind every headline, there's a family. For Amanda Powell, losing her son was more than tragedy. It became a fight for justice. This is her story, in her own words.
My name is Amanda Powell. I have a friend that suggested that I share this with you, my family's story and the injustice that has occurred after my son's homicide. My son's name is Joseph Powell. He was born February 7th, 2002, in Springfield, Missouri. We moved to Miami, Oklahoma later that year when his father was deployed for 18 months to Iraq with the Missouri Army National Guard. I also began teaching in Joplin, Missouri that same year. Joseph would attend elementary, middle school, and high school in Joplin, Missouri. He enjoyed his time at Joplin High School and enjoyed his career in high school football, where he excelled. One of the favorite clubs that he joined while in high school was a buddy group to befriend students with disabilities. This was the kind of person Joseph was. He always looked out for the underdog. He joined OU in the fall of 2021 with a plan to get his bachelor degree in engineering. He took a break the following year to join the Oklahoma Army National Guard, where he became a medic. When he finished his training for the Guard, he returned to OU with a new passion for medicine and helping others. He joined the OU rugby team for a short time, but also tried out for the OU football team as a walk-on. We were so excited for him when he made the team. We got to watch him play in one game before, unfortunately, all of the walk-on team members were excused from the team to make room for some new recruits. He then joined the OU rugby team, where he excelled and was even asked to travel and join some other tournaments throughout the U.S. At one point, he was ranked number 7 out of all of the U.S. college rugby players in his position. This last year of 2024 and into 2025, he decided that his passion was in medicine and he wanted to go into nursing with the end goal of becoming a physician's assistant. He was so excited and nervous about getting his acceptance letter from the OU nursing school. Sadly, we received it a few months after he passed away. He never knew that all of his hard work paid off. March 1st, 2025 was the last time I got to see my son conscious. We went to OU to watch his rugby match. He had gotten a concussion a week before and was not able to play, but was still on the field as a team medic. In the early morning hours of March 2nd, after celebrating with his team at a local bar on Campus Corner, Joseph was assaulted by 3 men in a gravel parking lot a few hundred feet away from the bar. We got several accounts of the story from several different police officers in the hours following his assault. We were recently told he was caught on camera trying to open the door of their truck. They supposedly had a conversation with him after this where he asked for a ride home, and then they got into a verbal altercation about Army versus Marines after they refused to give him a ride. We were told at one point that one of them punched him, and then another point that he was hit with the truck door and fell down to the ground. According to the Garmin that he was wearing that night, it looks like he lost consciousness at about 3:04 a.m. They did not call 911 until 3:47 a.m. He did not receive medical help until after 4 a.m. when he was on the way to OU Medical by ambulance. He was rushed into emergency brain surgery in hopes that it would alleviate some of the pressure off of his brain. As far as we know, he never regained consciousness after 3:04 a.m. He had MRIs, CAT scans, and X-rays at OU Medical. The only damage found on his body was to the back of his skull. He had contusions on the outside of his head, and his skull was fractured. The MRI showed that the amount of time his brain swelled caused irreparable damage to his brainstem that he could never recover from. After consulting with the neurosurgeon and several neurologists, we decided to take him off life support and donate his organs to save others. We had discussed organ donation when he was 17 and trying to decide what he wanted to put on his driver's license. He was adamant that he wanted to save others, but that was just the kind of guy he was. His honor walk was attended by the largest group of people that OU Medical had ever seen at an honor walk. He was always the bravest kid I knew, and I was so very proud of him always. He died on March 7th, 2025, and his organs saved at least 4 people. The reason I am writing you, yesterday I found out that the Norman, Oklahoma DA was not going to press any kind of charges against the 3 men who could have saved my son's life by calling 911 when they hit him. The men that watched my child die get to walk around with absolutely no consequences for their actions. They admitted assaulting him. The ME ruled his death homicide by blunt force trauma, but they get off scot-free. I'm definitely losing my faith in all parts of the justice system of the state that I have called home for 23 years. I need my son's story to be told, and I need the men who took his life to be held accountable. The police department have never told us their names. In fact, it feels like they are protecting them more than trying to get justice for my son. If you can help me, tell my son's story, or get justice for Joseph, I would truly appreciate it. If you need any more information from me, you can reach me at this email or my cell phone. I am still a school teacher and the year has started, but please leave a message and I will return your call. I am attaching a few photos of my son to this email.
That is absolutely chilling. That a mother whose son was murdered has to plea with local media to cover her son's murder. And I'm going to stand on that word. I know I said that
Yes.
in our last episode. But for a mother to have to plea for local news to cover a murder, and then for local news to respond and give her limited space on their coverage after this email has to be devastating for that family.
I am heartbroken as a mother for her, and that's part of why we are doing this story again. I'm sorry. It is hitting me in the heart so hard for Amanda and her family.
The delays and the autopsy. Time is everything in an investigation, but for the Powell family, time was also their enemy, and nowhere was this clearer than in the long wait for Joe's autopsy results.
Joe died on March 7th of this year, 2025. Results were delayed months, which is not the standard 6 to 8 weeks.
The standard 6 to 8 weeks. And we're talking about this now in August, late August, when This happened in early March.
5 months.
The Oklahoma medical examiner has to have some culpability in knowing that they delayed these results for so long. He was beaten to death. This should
Yes.
not have even taken 6 weeks. There should have been a call to action for the Oklahoma ME's office to get off their asses and get this report out. There's no reason.
And Amanda questioned whether this is backlog or an intentional stall.
You don't have to look very far because the Oklahoma medical examiner does not make it very easy to get autopsy results through their website. And trust us, we know
We know.
they make it extremely difficult. And now, and unfortunately, before this, we didn't really have that frame of mind. But now, after seeing what they've done with Joe's autopsy results, it's sad that they make it so difficult, but there's a reason why they make it difficult.
Mhm.
Clearly.
Well, and without this report, advocacy stalled. I mean, how do you advocate for punishment of something that you don't officially, I use air quotes, have the outcome of?
And the quote that everybody has is time heals all wounds.
Not in
But
this case.
when you're sitting and waiting for a state-run agency
Mm.
to release their findings on what happened to your son, to your cousin, to your friend, to your rugby teammate, when you're waiting for these results to find out exactly what happened, time is the enemy. Time time destroys the urgency of finding out what happened.
That's why there are shows like The First 48. Time is really of the essence here. And this has had a major impact on the family. And I can understand her saying that her faith has wavered.
Amanda had a great quote saying that officials were waiting for the story to fade. And when you look into the story and when you read about it, she couldn't be more correct.
You are absolutely right there. And I don't know if we want to discuss this here, if you want me to wait for premium content, but I've got something to say about the Norman Police Department and their initial handling of this death investigation.
I I think we save that for premium content because I have a feeling that our premium content on this case is going to be profanity laced, and that's the
It would, and that's why I asked, because I don't know that I could hold back right here.
that is the nicest way that I can describe our premium content on this story, because if you look at this from involving Norman Police Department and the Cleveland County District Attorney's Office and the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office, if you look at this and you stand back and take a look at it, you would have had a better opportunity to come up with a quicker, more decisive decision had you brought in the Keystone Cops.
I can't follow that up because I can't disagree with anything you just said.
In cases like these, delays can mean lost evidence, fading memories, and broken trust. And in Joe's case, they meant a family left in limbo, caught between hope and heartbreak.
The questions that remain.
Joe's death was ruled a homicide. 3 men admitted to being involved, and yet no charges. The family's pain is matched only by the questions that refuse to go away.
Just a few of these questions. First one, why were the men's names never released? Why were they redacted?
As I said in episode 1, I don't understand this, because the main reason that I think Norman Police Department decided to not release the men's names or what they're standing on is that they are protecting the safety of those involved. But again, I go back to the fact that Joe Powell lost his life in those early morning hours, and he wasn't protected.
Nope.
So why are these men, and I'm going to hit the word men again, because none of them were under the age of 18. When you turn 18, you become an adult, you make adult choices, and there are adult consequences.
There should be.
We both know this.
We do.
Both know this. But these men get protected by the Norman Police Department. And what they are leaning on is the fact that they have said that this case was all about carjacking. They are blaming the victim of a murder in this case on a carjacking, when if you look at it and you look at the video, we saw the video very, very early on because it was released. I probably should stay away from that. It was released and then taken away. But from my point of view, from that video, this was a simple misunderstanding.
I agree.
And I will tell you, like I have said in other podcasts, I had a great coach in my lifetime, Coach Eddie Paul, no longer with us. But he told me at an early age, nothing good happens after midnight. And I agree. However, this seemed to be a simple case of a young man who had a good night and walked to the wrong vehicle. That should not cost him his life. And the people that did it should not be protected from their adult actions.
3 on 1. 3 on 1. 3 on 1. And I'm going to drive that home.
And of course, the next outstanding question, and I can tell you that this will be in premium content, because I'm going to tell you exactly why. And I know you're going to tell me exactly why.
And you are going to become unhinged.
Why was there a 43-minute delay to call 911? I'll tell you exactly what I think in premium content, and I know you agree.
I do. I said the same thing while you were not within earshot, so we have the same reasoning.
In a story where none of the questions are easy to answer, that question, to me, is the easiest of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Another question that we have. Why? Why did the DA decline charges despite the ruling of a homicide? Why were there no charges? Why did the DA not bring charges?
I want to blame the district attorney's office so bad for this. But Norman PD gave them an easy out. They listed the case as a carjacking. And again, if you've seen the video, this is nowhere near a carjacking. This was a case of a mistaken vehicle, at least as it appears to me. However,
we've seen the police report too.
Norman PD classified this as a carjacking, which gave the unnamed adult male witnesses and those involved an out to say that they were protecting themselves, albeit 3-on-1. They were protecting themselves from Joe. That gave Norman PD is almost the basis for the issue here, because that gave the district attorney the opportunity to not file charges in this case because it was classified as a carjacking.
Which makes 0 sense with the whole 3-on-1 and an exchange taking place. An exchange. Conversation. Digress. The demand now. Amanda has organized vigils, rallies, and online campaigns with a petition for #Justice for Joseph, which is trending on social media. That hashtag is Justice for Joseph. Joseph is JOZSEF. Her fight will continue until there are answers.
Her fight should continue until there's answers. This case is so backward in almost every sense of the word. This is a misunderstanding to a murder, and there is absolutely no reason why anyone on this planet should not be able to go and watch Joe play rugby right now. Should not be able to hear about Joe excelling in the nursing program that he was accepted to posthumously. There is no reason why a family should be grieving right now over a misunderstanding.
Listeners, we need you to talk about Joe. We need you to share Joe's story. We need you to share this podcast. We need you to get Joe Powell's name out anywhere and everywhere you can by any means necessary. And we need to help Amanda get justice for Joseph.
The truth about what happened to Joe Powell in that parking lot may never fully come to light. But for his family, the fight for answers is far from over. He was a son, a soldier, a teammate, and a friend. And yet, months later, no one has been held accountable. For Amanda Powell, the question is simple. Why? For the rest of us, it's a reminder of how quickly a life can be taken and how uncertain justice can be. This is The Last Clue. The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information about this case or any other case that you would like us to cover, please email us at info@smithmediateamllc.com.